It was a Friday, the kind that should have been about flowers and guest lists, the kind that means 1 week left before I do. We were 7 days away from the altar. Carla and I had driven out to the venue, a barn an hour from downtown, rustic, charming, Pinterest perfect, for what was supposed to be our final check-in. But final meant nothing. Everything felt rushed. 4 months of decisions had been crammed into just a few weeks of chaos. She'd come straight from her new job, barely 6 weeks in, and I could tell the stress was wearing on both of us. The meeting dragged. Centerpieces, menu tweaks, table placements. I was ready to leave when Carla smiled that disarming, sunny smile. "Oh babe, quick thing. My friend Sarah needs to return a rental nearby. Could you drop her home? Super close. You know Sarah." "Sure," I said. Didn't think twice. Sarah was one of those harmless, spacey college friends. No red flags. I figured I'd be home by 5:30. Enough time for Carla to drop Sarah and be back soon after. But 6:30 came, then 7, then 7:30. No sign of her. I texted. Nothing. Called. Straight. To voicemail. Carla was never without her phone. She lived glued to it. By 8, I caved and messaged Sarah. "Hey, just checking. Carla make it to you okay? Haven't heard from her. Not angry. Just unsettled. That slow, creeping feeling in your chest when something's off, but you can't say what." At 8:45, Carla walked in, face a little flushed, hair tousled, but glowing like nothing was wrong. There was this jittery, too bright energy to her. Not tired, not casual, almost fake. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, babe," she said, tossing her purse like she hadn't vanished for 3 hours. She kissed my cheek. Quick, cold. "We got caught up talking, then grabbed a bite, you know." I nodded, calm on the outside. "Just next time, shoot me a message, okay?" I was starting to get worried. She smiled, already walking away. "Of course, totally forgot. I'm sorry." But minutes later, my phone buzzed again. A reply from Sarah. "Sorry, didn't make it to the venue today. Something came up last minute. Haven't seen Carla at all tonight. Hope everything's all right." The blood drained from my face. Turned to see Carla, calm, humming, pouring herself wine like nothing had happened, like she hadn't just lied. "Sarah just texted," I said, my voice flat. "She didn't see you tonight. Said she didn't make it to the venue." She froze mid-pour, then turned, laughed nervously. "Oh, she's just mixed up. We definitely met." Her voice was shaky. Her eyes avoided mine. "I need to run upstairs," she said quickly, already vanishing down the hall, and I just stood there, my gut twisting. I had never snooped. I believed in trust, in boundaries. But this was different. This wasn't forgetfulness. This was cover-up. The second she was out of sight, I broke a rule I swore I never would. I picked up her phone, her passcode, her birthday, too easy. Straight to the call log. First thing I saw, a quick call to Sarah. Probably a panic move after she realized I might ask. Then another number. No name. Over an hour long. Logged during her drive to the venue. A local number. No contact name. Just digits. That's when the feeling shifted from suspicion to certainty. When she came back down, she was all calm again. Too calm. "So, what car did Sarah rent?" I asked, rinsing a mug like it was nothing. She blinked once. A Camry. Or maybe a Corolla, one of those." "Where was the rental place? By the airport or downtown?" "Downtown," she replied instantly. "Cheaper. That one near the gas station on 4th. I nodded. "Makes sense." I watched her reflection in the microwave door. She didn't flinch. Every answer, polished, prepared. And yet, a tiny piece of me still wanted to believe her. Maybe Sarah was confused. Maybe I was being dramatic. Maybe that number was just work. But deep down, I knew. The next morning, over coffee, I tested her again. Calm, easy voice. "Hey," I said, "if you can show me the message from Sarah asking for that pickup, I'll let it go. I've just been stressed. Wedding jitters, you know." She didn't even blink. "No," she said. "I don't need to prove anything to you. Either you trust me or you don't." Different tactic. I pressed gently. "That long call you were on yesterday, on the way to the venue, who was it?" Something flickered in her face. A crack. "Oh, that was Sarah," she said quickly. "We were coordinating pickup time. Wrong. She'd already said they met later." "Funny," I said, "because I checked your call log. That call wasn't to Sarah." Her face drained of color. "You went through my phone?" she hissed. "Like I'd committed treason. How dare I?" I snapped. "You lied to my face, and I'm the one who crossed the line." I didn't yell, didn't break. I just stared. "So who was it, Carla?" She panicked. "Okay, fine. It was a coworker, Michael, from the new job. It was a case, confidential." And just like that, the cracks became craters. "Michael." She claimed they met near our wedding venue to discuss a patient case, an hour-long call, a secret meetup, the night before a girls' weekend. None of it made sense, and suddenly, nothing she said did. The lies were stacking like bricks in a collapsing wall. I stood there, staring at her. Carla, the woman I'd spent 7 years planning a future with, and all I saw now were holes, gaps in her story wide enough to drive a truck through. "You seriously expect me to believe you met a co-worker, an hour away from work, to discuss something confidential, in person, during rush hour?" I said, voice quiet but razor sharp. She crossed her arms, defensive in a flash. "I don't have to explain everything to you. You're being paranoid and controlling. Or maybe," I said, taking a slow breath, "you're having an affair." Her face twisted. "What the hell, Austin?" "You tell me," I said, locking eyes with her. "Do you even want to get married next week? Or are we just pretending now?" She stepped back, shaken but not broken. "Not yet." Our golden rule had always been no lies, no secrets, no matter what. That was the foundation. And now it was rubble under my feet. "If this is just work," I said, "then show me the text with Michael. Prove it." She froze, a beat too long. "No," she said, icy. "I'm not doing this. I don't owe you proof." I didn't shout, just stared, waiting, and then she cracked. "Fine," she snapped. "Yes, okay, it happened." The words hit like a punch to the gut. Michael and I, we were together, once. That's it. It was stupid, emotional. I saw him again, and I just needed closure. Her voice trembled now, trembling hands, watery eyes. "But I told him yesterday it's done. I wanted to end it. For us." I stood motionless. Inside, I was crumbling. But outside, stone. "You lied to me," I said, my voice flat. "For how long?" She didn't answer. "You planned a wedding with me," I continued, while sneaking. "Around with your ex. Do you know how insane that is?" I panicked, she whispered. "I didn't want to lose everything." "No," I said. "You didn't want to lose the image, the venue, the dress, the Pinterest board you built around a lie." Tears welled up. She stepped toward me. "Austin, please. It was one mistake, one stupid thing. I love you. I want this wedding." I shook my head, jaw clenched. "You had chances. You could have told me. You didn't. I didn't know how. No, you didn't want to." She opened her mouth, but I was already walking toward the door. "Austin, don't. Please," she begged. I paused, hand on the keys. We had 3 dogs, a house, 7 years. I thought we were building something real. She took a shaky step forward. "It turns out," I finished, "I was the only one holding it up." Then I left. I texted Keith one word: "Coming." 15 minutes later, I was slumped on his couch, beer in hand, silence filling the spaces between my thoughts. Keith didn't ask questions. He never did. He just handed me a blanket and pointed to the fridge. Keith and I had been tight since high school, roommates after college, the kind of guy who fixed broken engines and broken people with the same quiet patience. Drama wasn't his thing, but loyalty was. "You want to talk about it now or later?" he asked. "Tomorrow. The beer's cold, blankets on the couch, bathroom still doesn't lock." I cracked a half smile. "Thanks, man." That night, I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just sat, quiet, staring at the ceiling fan spin like it was trying to rewind time. By morning, I had a plan. At 9 a.m. sharp, I called Sarah. I didn't lay it all out. Just said, "Can we meet? Somewhere private?" She hesitated, then said, "The park near Main Street." It was a grey, heavy morning, the kind where everything feels 5 pounds heavier. I waited by the pond, hands stuffed in, my jacket. Ducks floated past, joggers ignored me. Then Sarah showed. Her face said everything before she even opened her mouth. "Hey," I said. "Hey," she replied. Nervous. "Friday night," I said. "Did you see Carla?" A pause. She looked me straight in the eyes. "No, I didn't. I haven't seen her in weeks." I just nodded. "I like you, Austin," she said softly. I didn't want to be dragged into this. I didn't even know she used my name until you texted. I said nothing. Let the silence say it all. "She mentioned someone from her past," Sarah continued. "A guy. Complicated. She said it caught her off guard." "Did she mention a name?" Sarah hesitated. "Michael, I think. She only said it once." There it was. "She changed after that," Sarah added. "Flaky, weird, and when she used me as a cover, it felt wrong. I would have said no." I nodded slowly, everything sinking like stones in my gut. "Thanks for being honest," I said. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Me too." That night, back at Keith's, I finally said it out loud. "She cheated on me," I said, staring at the beer bottle like it held answers. "With some guy from her past, Michael." Keith didn't react, just nodded. "She says it was just once, to end things, but I don't believe her." "You think it's still happening?" he asked. "I know it is," I said, "and I want to catch her." Keith gave me a long, quiet look. "You want proof?" "I want revenge." I wasn't going to yell or confront her. I was going to expose her. I needed someone watching her. Someone she wouldn't suspect. "You want me to follow her?" Keith asked. "Yeah, and if you catch them together, record it." He rubbed his face. "Man, this is messy." "I wouldn't ask if I had anyone else." He nodded. "All right, tell me when." The next 2 days, I played it cold. No fights, no yelling, just distance. Carla blew up my phone. Voicemails, frantic texts, desperate calls. 1 minute furious, the next sobbing. I ignored them, all, until Wednesday night. I finally answered, my voice flat. "Hey." She went quiet, like hearing me shocked her. Then, "Austin, thank God. Can we talk? I just need to talk. Please." I waited. "Let it hang." "Tomorrow night," I said. "Your place." Calm. "Okay," she whispered. "I'll be ready." But while she was planning an apology, Keith was out there playing Ghost. He'd borrowed a buddy's car, wore different jackets, even trimmed his beard. I'd given him her schedule, or rather, the schedule she told me. He didn't have to wait long. Thursday afternoon, hours before my talk with Carla, the message came. "They're together, motel off 12th. Got it on video. We'll send when I'm clear." I didn't blink. I was beyond the pain, Past the betrayal, what I felt now was clean, focused rage, the kind you sharpen like a knife. That night, she lit candles, set the table. Cheap wine, a scene from a fake fairy tale. "I want us back," she said, eyes glistening. "I know I messed up, but I ended it. For real." "Really?" I said, voice low. "It's over?" She nodded like her life depended on it. "I blocked him, deleted everything, I swear." "You love me?" I asked. "With everything I have. Nothing's happening with Michael." She shook her head. "It was one mistake. I ended it. That's the truth." I stared at her for a long beat, then nodded. "Okay," she blinked. "Okay? Let's go through with the wedding." Her eyes filled. With what, I'll never know. Relief, victory, whatever it was fake. She grabbed my hand. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'll make this right. I promise." I smiled, but something inside me shifted, because what she didn't know was, I already had the footage. I already had the plan, and I was about to detonate her entire fantasy. Saturday, wedding day, sunshine, birds, a perfect lie wrapped in white lace. I stood at the altar in a rented tux, calm, collected, a groom on the edge of destruction. Her side was packed. Friends, co-workers, family, even Michael was there, 2 rows back, stone-faced in a charcoal suit. My side was lean, a few cousins, Keith in the back. Then the music swelled. She walked in, veil floating, smile polished like glass, like nothing had ever happened. "We met at the altar," the minister began. She said her vows first, practiced, smooth, full of lies dressed as devotion. Then my turn. I paused, stared into her eyes I used to know. "Austin," I began, voice steady. Thought I knew what love meant. Thought I understood trust. Thought I understood her. Murmurs. A few shifts in the pews. But this week, I learned a lot. I pulled out my phone and a small Bluetooth speaker from my jacket pocket. Carla's smile faltered. "I think before we move forward, everyone deserves a bit of honesty." I tapped play. Her voice rang out. Cold, confident, vile. "He doesn't suspect a thing. Just get through the wedding, lock the house down, then we'll figure the rest out." Gasps, whispers. A few heads turned toward Michael. "That," I said, "was Carla, 2 nights ago, in a motel parking lot with him." Silence. Then someone stood, maybe her cousin, pointed at Michael. "Is that him?" Michael tried to shrink. Too late. The spotlight found him. Carla stood frozen, white as a ghost. I didn't stop. I loved her. I planned a future with her. She planned an escape route. I turned toward the audience. To her family, her friends. "I hope you were as fooled as I was, because now you know." I faced Carla. "This wedding is over." Her jaw dropped. No words, just shaking hands and wet eyes. "I have the texts," I continued. "The call logs, the GPS, the lies. She told about Sarah, the meetups with Michael." She broke. "No, Austin, it's not like that. I was hurting. I didn't mean to. You meant every second of it," I said coldly. "You planned to marry me while cheating on me with your ex. That's not a mistake. That's character." "I loved you," she cried. "Michael, he hurt me a long time ago. I wanted closure. It was never about him. It was about healing." "No," I said. "It was about control." She moved toward me. "You were the one I wanted to marry. You were always the plan." I stepped back. "Then maybe you shouldn't have spent 6 weeks in hotel rooms trashing me behind my back." Her parents stood frozen, until her father stepped forward, face like thunder. He grabbed Carla's arm and yanked her from this altar, like a child who'd broken something sacred. Her mother trailed behind, weeping. But it didn't end there. Michael tried to sneak out the other side. He didn't make it. Her father saw him, stormed across the aisle, and crack. One punch dropped Michael to the floor like dead weight. Screams, phones out, security rushing in. The wedding had become a war zone. And I just watched it burn, like I'd always planned. Carla tried to play the victim afterward, walking into her lawyer's office like I was the villain who ruined everything. "I'm not paying you a cent," she snapped. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone." "No," I replied calmly. "You embarrassed yourself. I just hit play," she sneered. "You ambushed me like a psycho." I leaned forward. "You cheated for weeks, lied to my face. You tried on dresses while sneaking off to cheap motels." She crossed her legs, unbothered. "You can't prove intent, but I can prove everything else," I said. "And I want my half back." "Is that what this is? A money grab?" "No," I said. "It's an honesty tax." She folded her arms. "Then I'll fight for the dogs." My stomach dropped. "You wouldn't." "Try me. I'll demand 2. We'll split them if I have to." That was it. Our dogs, Max, Bella, Charlie, inseparable littermates, our only real family. I walked out. I had a new plan. 2 days later, Keith backed into my driveway with his truck. We loaded up their beds, toys, food bowls. The dogs wagged their tails, clueless. I drove them 2 states over to my cousin Ben's farm. 60 acres of freedom, trees, a pond, heaven. When I got back, I texted Carla. "Dogs are gone. Left the gate open. Must have run out while I was outside," she called. I didn't answer. Final message. "You're lying." I never replied. She always used lies to hurt. I used mine to protect. And then came court. We weren't married. No divorce. But we co-owned the house. And I had every receipt. My lawyer laid it out. Equal split of the house. Reimbursement of $12,840.32 for non-refundable wedding costs. Carla's lawyer laughed. They weren't married. No agreement. The judge raised a hand. They lived together. Joint property applies. He tried again. Wedding was cancelled by my client's dramatic outburst. "I didn't cancel the wedding," I said. "She did, when she decided to sleep with someone else." The judge nodded slowly. "Noted." Within 12 minutes it was done. The house would be sold. Profits split. I'd get half the wedding expenses back. Carla never looked at me as she left. Just stormed out, lawyer, in tow. And just like that, no rings, no vows, no more lies, just freedom. Thank God.